to LawSikho's thorough newspaper analysis for 9th October 2023. Now, let us start with the editorial section. The largest climate action lawsuit against 32 countries, which we have taken from the Hindu. Then we'll be talking about the news update that will include national news, international news, important days, awards in sports, and lastly, we'll be talking about some legal news update coming from the Honorable High Court and the Supreme Court of India. Now, let us start with a very interesting editorial which is coming from the Hindu paper, which talks about the climate action suit against 32 countries. Now, climate action is something that we're talking about on a regular basis. We are suffering from global warming. The world is becoming the hottest planet nowadays. Now, why this particular suit has been initiated? What is the context? Who has initiated the suit? Why are we talking about it? Okay. So, this battle began on September 27th, where it's a historical legal battle for climate action movement. Now, there are 6 young people from Portugal, aged from 11 to 24, are suing 32 European governments, including UK, Russia, and Turkey, at the European Court of Human Rights in France, Strasbourg. So, मैं आपको एक बार और हिंदी में समझा देती हूँ. So, एक 11 to 24 एज का ग्रुप है जो यंग लोग हैं, पोर्टुगल से हैं. उन्होंने ईयू की 32 कंट्रीज को स्यू करा है, विच इंक्लूड्स यूके, रशिया एंड टर्की, at the European Court of Human Rights in France, Strasbourg. Now, the plaintiff began arguing before the 7 judges that their governments have failed to sufficient action against the climate crisis. And because of this particular non-action for the climate crisis, they are violating their human rights and discriminating against young people globally. Okay. So, what is the lawsuit all about? So, we understood who has initiated the suit, why the suit has been initiated. Now, what is the lawsuit all about? So, Duarte, Agostinho, and others versus Portugal and others was filed in September 2020 in the aftermath of the wildfires that consumed Portugal's Líria in 2017. Now, in this particular wildfire, which happened, around 60 people died and 20,000 hectares of forest were lost. The recent spate of heat waves and fire across Greece, Canada, and other parts of Europe served as reminder that every increment beyond 1.5 degree temperature threshold would be catastrophic, intensifying multiple and concurrent hazards, as the Intergovernmental Panel on Climate Change states in the report. So there were many wildfires which happened in Portugal, which happened in Greece, Canada. Majority of the portion of the forest were lost, which was 20,000 hectares. Now, the Portuguese youth claims that the European nations are not following the climate protection rules, and they have flattered the climate emission goals, and also blowing past their global carbon budget consistent with the Paris Agreement targeting of limiting global warming under 1.5 degrees Celsius. Now, in the lawsuit, it states that the nation have violated the European Convention on Human Rights. And now this particular convention includes 3 types of right. One is the right to life. Next is right to be free from inhuman or degrading treatment. And thirdly, right to privacy and family life, and the right to be free from discrimination. So in this particular lawsuit, they claim that countries have violated the convention, which includes their particular right. Now, since 32 countries have contributed to the climate catastrophes that are happening, which have jeopardized their future of young people, now, additionally, the nations have falls upon the nations to rapidly escalate their emission reduction and aim in higher curtailing domestic emissions. Now, other measures which include cutting the production of fossil fuel and cleaning up global supply chain. Now, European Scientific Advisory Board on Climate Change. It is a body which provides scientific advice to EU countries. Said countries will have to target an emission reduction of 75% below 1990 level as opposed to EU's current 55%. Now, there is a scientific advisory body which is on climate change, which advises the EU countries that you have to boil down your emission of 75% below as opposed to EU's current 55%. Now, EU at present is the sixth largest emitter with 7.2 tons of CO2 per capita, while the world average 6.3 tons per capita. Now, there comes an international body which is UNICEF has dubbed the climate crisis as a child right crisis. UNICEF has stated in their statement that it's a child right crisis. A carbon emission and extreme weather threaten access to education, health, nutrition, and the future. Researcher concurs air pollution is already linked to poor birth outcomes and increased risk of cardiovascular and respiratory diseases. Heat waves are also targeting mental health issues. So UNICEF has already stated in their document that it's a child right crisis because they don't have good health. It is affecting their mental health. So there comes a statement from UNICEF too. Now, how the government has responded on this particular issue? It comes down to the cause and effect. Countries have so far rejected all the contentions that the plaintiff has posted, and they told or they intimated that in their contention that there is no direct link between climate change and the impact on human health. Like for example, Greece in its submission stated that it do not seem to be directly affect human life or human health. This is even a country's witnessed devastating wildfires earlier this year and torrential rain and flooding in September. Now, the Portuguese and the Irish government have dismissed this concern as future fears, arguing that there is no evidence to show climate change poses an immediate risk to their lives. Now, in this particular case, the ruling is expected to be in the first half of 2024 next year, and we'll see how the government takes the climate change seriously and whether they link that particular climate change with the health and the right of privacy issues of the youngsters that are coming up. So this is a very important news coming on the base of sustainable development goals and the climate change that we are seeing, and we'll keep you posted in our TNAs what happens in this case in near future. So stay with us on this particular case. It's a very interesting case. Now, coming up to the national news of the day, veteran author C.S. Lakshmi received Tata Literature Lifetime Achievement Award for 2023. Now, eminent author C.S. Lakshmi has received this particular award. He is one of the finest writers and academicians. Lakshmi pioneered the writing that supported the idea of educating women in India. She is credited with transforming Tamil fiction, especially the short story genre, imaginatively experimenting with both form and language. Now, for this particular award, past recipients are mentioned in the third paragraph. One of the past recipients are Khushwant Singh, Sir V.S. Naipaul, Mahash Veta Devi. So, the particular award has been conferred to C.S. Lakshmi. Now, government extends tenure of SBI Chairman Dinesh Khara until August 2024. So, the chairman of SBI tenure has been extended till August 2024. Khara was appointed as SBI chairman on August 7, 2020 for 3 years. Now this term has been extended. Now, recap of other appointment made this week. So we'll take an exam takeaway कि इस particular week में हमने कौन-कौन से appointment करे हैं. देखें. KN Shant Kumar elected chairman of Press Trust of India Board. Dr. Dinesh Dasa takes oath of office and secrecy as member of UPSC. Lieutenant General Raghu Srinivasan as new BRO chief. Vice Admiral Tarun Sobati assumed charge as Deputy Chief of Naval Staff, and RBI appoints Munish Kapoor as Executive Director. So these are the particular appointments that have happened in this last week from Monday to Saturday, which was 3rd, 2nd October till 7th of October. This is are the exam takeaway for you guys, so do read it. चले चले अब आगे बढ़ते हैं. Asian Games HS Prannoy bags bronze, ends India's 41-year medal drought since 1982. HS Prannoy finished with a bronze medal in men's single, while Chirag Shetty and Satvik Sairaj Ranki Reddy made the doubles final at Asian Games 2023 badminton tournament. Now, with this, Indian shuttler ended 41-year medal drought in the event and joined the league of Syed Modi, who won the bronze medal in 1982 for India. Now, other update coming from this particular game, archery. India got its first medal in archery with the Indian women's recurve archery team winning the bronze medal. Now, as of now, medal tally, India is now 4th on the medal tally with 21 gold, 32 silver and 35 bronze, totaling of 88 medal. Now, top 3 countries are China, Japan and Republic of Korea. 4th comes India. Chale, very proud moment for India. India surpasses Japan and UK in global mobile speed ranking. India has beaten Japan and UK in mobile speed. This particular data comes from Ookla. India's speed performance has zoomed up to 3.59 times with the launch of 5G services. Now, here are the top 10 countries with fastest mobile speed. Coming up to UAE, coming up on the first number. Second, Qatar. Third, Kuwait. Fourth, Norway. And India comes on the 47th number, which is India, and has surpassed Japan and UK. Now, Sunil Kumar wins India's first Greco-Roman medal at Asian Games since 2010. Sunil has won India's first Greco-Roman medal in 13 years at the Asian Games when he won the bronze in the 87 kilo category in China. India has won 2 medals in Greco-Roman in Guangzhou edition with Ravindra Singh at 60 kg and Sunil Kumar Rana 66 kg. ठीक है? चलें. Coming up to the next national news, which is again coming from Asian Games 2023, India wins gold in men's 4x400-meter relay. India has won gold in this particular game. India qualified for the finals by clocking the fastest time of 3.03.81 minutes in the heat, one ahead of Qatar, Japan, and Iraq. Citizens can now become drone pilots with any government-issued identity and address proof, exercising the powers bestowed upon it by Section 5 and Section 10A, 10B, 12 of Aircraft Act. The Ministry of Civil Aviation has notified the new Drone Amendment Rules 2023 for drone pilots. The prerequisite of having a passport was becoming a hurdle for aspiring drone pilots, especially in the agriculture sector across India. Now, after the amendment, it has been made clear that the government-issued proof of identity and government-issued proof of address, that is voter ID, ration card, driving license, can now be accepted to apply for remote pilot certificate if the drone pilot does not have a passport. Now, the particular rule is effective from 27th of September 2023. So, for this, previously, only passport was acceptable. Now, after the amendment, government issue identity and address proof are acceptable. ठीक है? चलें. JMI, that is Jamia Millia Islamia, and IIM, that is Indian Institute of Management Researchers, features in Stanford University list of top 2% scientists worldwide. Now, a total of 26 of Jamia Millia Islamia researchers have been featured in the list of the top 2% scientists worldwide by Stanford University. ठीक है? 8 professors have been named in the career list like Ali Imran Ahsan, Haseeb Ghosh, Sushant G. Rahman, Atikar Sen, Anjana A. Ahmad, Sharif Ahmad, Tokir Islam, and Tariqul. Stanford University list features approximately 3,500 researchers from India. So it's a very proud moment that The researchers have been listed to the top 2% scientists worldwide. In a historic first, Supreme Court appoints sign language interpreter for deaf lawyer. Supreme Court on Friday appointed a sign language interpreter for deaf lawyer Sarah Sunny. Historically, the Supreme Court has never appointed an interpreter at its own expense. It's a very phenomenal, revolutionary moment from Honorable Supreme Court. Now the interpreter was seen interpreting the proceedings for Sarah, who was appearing virtually. Sarah had earlier filed an application before the Supreme Court Registry requesting a court-appointed Indian Sign Language interpreter to assist her. Tripura becomes fourth state to introduce eCabinet system. CM Saha says it will infuse dynamism. Now, Tripura has become the fourth state to introduce an eCabinet system which will promote digital infrastructure development and digitalization of government services and information. Now, the Tripura is fourth state, but in Northeast, it's the second state after Uttarakhand, Uttar Pradesh, Arunachal Pradesh. All ministers attended the event at the new Secretariat complex where the Chief Minister launched the app to be used for eCabinet. Okay, the eCabinet system is expected to eliminate delays caused by physical movement of paper document and to infuse dynamism in the government decision-making process. So first, Uttarakhand, Uttar Pradesh, Arunachal Pradesh, and fourth comes Tripura, and second in the Northeast. ये याद रखिएगा, त्रिपुरा Northeast में second number पे है. चले? India versus Australia highlights World Cup 2023. India started their World Cup campaign off with a resounding victory against Australia at Chepauk. After the bowlers had successfully restricted Australia to 199 in the first inning, Virat Kohli and KL Rahul helped the host reach the target in 41.2 overs. I think the news would certainly be irrelevant for you guys, but the persons who are not seeing or are being updated by the World Cup 2023, here it comes that India versus Australia, India won, and it was a very tough match on Sunday. So, yeah, a good win by India. Now, important days, National Wildlife Week 2023. So it's a 69th Wildlife Week, which with the theme Partnerships for Wildlife Conservation. Now, honoring the people who are making a difference on the theme of UN World Wildlife Day 2023. The National Zoological Park celebrated Wildlife Week 2023 from 2nd October till 8th of October. Now, there's a history behind this particular week, dates back to 1952 when the Indian Board of Wildlife conceived the concept as a means to raise awareness about the long-term objectives of safeguarding India's wildlife. Now, originally observed as Wildlife Day in 1955, it later evolved into a week-long event in 1957. Now, the choice of dates from 2nd October to 8th October carries deep symbolism as it coincides with the birth anniversary of Mahatma Gandhi, who championed the principle of ahimsa, that is non-violence and compassion towards all living beings. So, National Wildlife Week started from 2nd October, ended on 8th October. Now, Indian Air Force Day 2023. Indian Air Force Day is a historical event celebrated annually to commemorate the establishment of Indian Air Force in 1932, and it marked a 91st anniversary. Now, let us understand the theme of this particular year. IAF, Air Power Beyond Boundaries. It exemplifies the Indian Air Force commitment to excellence, innovation, and its role as a guardian of the nation's skies. Now, history. The IAF evolved from a Royal Indian Air Force which was established on 8th October 1932. Now, 1961, it supported the assassination of Goa to the Indian Union. In 1962, IAF provided critical air support to the Indian Armed Forces in their battle with Chinese army. And in 1984, IAF helped capture the Siachen Glacier. So, Indian Air Force Day 2023, which was celebrated on 8th October and marking the 91st anniversary. Now, Abkhazia, Russia to build naval base in Georgian separatist region. Russia will set up a naval base in a separatist Georgian region of Abkhazia. Its leader has told Russian media. It comes as Ukraine increases its attack on Russia's Black Sea fleet. 2 weeks ago, Kyiv struck the fleet's headquarters in Crimea. Now, Abkhazia, which already hosts a Russian military base, lies in the northwestern corner of Georgia and borders Russia. Hamas attack on Israel. It's a very disheartening news that again the two of the particular nations are at war and Israel has declared the state at war. The Palestinian militant group Hamas has launched an unprecedented attack on Israel with its fighter entering community near the Gaza Strip, killing residents and taking hostages. Now, what is Hamas? Hamas is a Palestinian Islamic militant group which rules the Gaza Strip. Hamas as a whole, or in some cases it's a military wing, is designated a terrorist group by Israel, United States, European Union and UK as well as other powers. Hamas is backed by Iran which fund it and provides weapons and training. So Hamas is a militant group which rules the Gaza Strip. Now what is Gaza Strip? Gaza Strip is a 41-kilometer long and 10-kilometer wide territory between Israel, Egypt, and Mediterranean Sea. Okay, it is home to about 2.3 million people and has one of the highest population densities in the world. Now, what is Palestine and what have these events got to do with it? The West Bank and the Gaza, which are known as the Palestinian territories, as well as East Jerusalem and Israel, all formed part of land known as Palestine since Roman times. These were also the lands of Jewish kingdom in the Bible and are seen by Jews as their ancient homeland. Okay, now Israel borders explain Israel was declared a state in 1948, though the land is still referred to a Palestine by those who do not recognize Israel's right to exist. Palestinians also use the term Palestine as an umbrella term for West Bank, Gaza, and East Jerusalem. Now, why they particular both the troops are finding? There is a constant tension between Israel and Hamas, but the attack by the militant on Saturday came without warning. Hamas fired thousands of rockets with dozens of fighter breaches the border and invaded Israeli communities, killing dozens of civilians and taking other captives. Guys, around 1,100 people are being killed. It's an official record. We don't know the non-official record that is coming up, but it's a very disheartening attack which is happening in our world. Israel launched immediate airstrikes, saying it was targeting militant sites in Gaza. The unprecedented attack came a day after the 50th anniversary of the surprise attack by Egypt and Syria in 1973 that started a major Middle East war. The significance of the date will not have been lost on the Hamas leadership. So, we'll be explaining more on this particular topic in the coming TNAs, but it's a very disheartening attack. Terrorism and terror attacks are fully not appreciated and not acceptable on any ground. So, yeah. Now, legal update coming from the Honorable Supreme Court in the case of Dhani Ram through a legal representative and others versus V. Shiv Singh. Will can't be presumed to be valid merely because it is registered. So, Supreme Court held that a mere registration would not sanctify a document by attaching to an irrebuttable presumption of genuineness. So Apex Court was considering a property dispute in which the validity and legality of a will was called into question. The matter had reached the Apex Court after serials of appeal. The bench of Justice C.T. Ravi Kumar and Justice Sanjay Kumar, agreeing with the view, said that the trial court rightly opinioned that mere registration of will would not be sufficient to prove its validity, as its lawful execution necessarily had to be proved in accordance with Section 68 of the Indian Evidence Act and Section 63 of the Indian Succession Act. So Section 68 of Evidence Act require at least one witnesses to the will to its prove it prove its execution in terms of Section 63 of the Succession Act. So it requires one witness. Mere registration would not justify its sanctity. A very important judgment coming from Honorable Supreme Court. You guys can just quote in your judiciary exam if the question is asked on will or on the you know Evidence Act, that how to prove a will. So it's a very important judgment. Another judgment coming from Karnataka High Court so it's anomalous ABC versus and XYZ. The Karnataka High Court has held that wife living in adultery not entitled to maintenance from husband under Domestic Violence Act. So the court held that wife cannot claim maintenance from her husband under Section 12 of the Domestic Violence Act when she is in adulterous relationship with another person. Now, the court rejected the revision petition filed by a wife seeking to set aside the order of the session court, which in turn had set aside the order of maintenance granted in favor of the wife by the magistrate court on her making an application. So it's about the maintenance of the wife from the husband under Domestic Violence Act. Now, a big shout out to our winners of the TNA questions and answers. Now, George Philip, who is a constant, uh, our viewer of our TNA, Hiba Shahid, Priyanka Bharti, and Annie Sebastian. A big shout out to you guys for giving correct answers on the TNA. We'll be keeping regularly posted with the TNA questions, and soon we'll be launching the giveaways. So big shout out to Miss Hiba Shahid, Mr. George Philip, Miss Priyanka Bharati, and Miss Annie Sebastian. Congratulations. Now that's all for the today's news update and the legal news. Keep watching. Take care.